All right, in this drawing we were going to do the base plate. As normal, I start out with my sheet layout drawing. I'm going to go ahead and go to the rectangle tool, and I'm going to draw off to the side, and I'm going to use relative input by Shift at. The overall rectangle for this part is 5.5 in X, 5.5 in X, comma 4 in Y. Hit enter. Now I need to clip this corner, and that's pretty much everything I need to do for the outer edge of this geometry. So I'm going to do little handlebars here. Draw a line, and I'm going to move it over the distance of 4.25. I'm going to do the same thing down on the lower right. Draw a little line, and then I'm going to move it up 2 inches. And what that does is that gives me my snap points. You got a line, snap it from point to point, end point to end point, and I can get rid of my handlebars and go ahead and trim this corner out. Okay, now since I could do that right away, since I have a corner to corner to go to center this object up with the border on the sheet layout. So I'll go ahead and do that now since I have the outer geometry completed. So I'm going to draw my guidelines here for centering. Snap from corner to corner here, diagonal line. Draw another diagonal from corner to corner here. And then go ahead and move it. Snap from midpoint to midpoint. Now I can delete my guidelines. All right, let's go ahead and finish the guide plate itself with these circles that we need. So this top left circle would be a hole, and then this other circle is actually a hole with a what's called a boss. So if this was a 3D part, that outer circle would be raised up on the plate. So let's go to circle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to see where it's referenced. This first circle, I can start that circle down here in this corner and choose the diameter, and it's going to be a 1-inch diameter. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it, and I'm going to move it using relative. So I'll select what I want to move, and then the base point will be the center. I'm going to go Shift at, put the at sign in for relative, and the X is going to be 1, and then comma the Y is going to be 2.5. Okay, now I'll do my other circle, and it's going to be referenced from same spot. So it's also going to be a 1-inch diameter, so I'll type D and then 1, and then go ahead and move it. So I'm going to move this one relative as well, so Shift at. I'm going to go 3 in X, comma 1.5 in Y. So now that that's located, the outer circle can share that same center point. That would be concentric. So I'm going to go to that circle. I'm going to snap to that center point so I don't have to move it after the fact. That diameter is 2, so type D for diameter and then type 2. Okay, so that's the guide, or the base plate, I'm sorry. This is the base plate. Now what we need to do is add dimensions. And as I've said before, I always start by dimensioning all the diameters. If we have circles, we're going to dimension diameters. So this one here, I'm going to move this over to make it match my drawing, the location of it. Notice it puts a center point in. I'm going to go to diameter, and I'm going to choose the outer one to be 2 inches. And then repeat that last diameter dimension, put the 1 inch up here. All right, so I have center points to work off of for my linear dimension. So I'm going to go drop down, go to linear dimension, and let's go ahead and zoom in. We'll locate that one. Notice where I snapped. I snapped to the top of the center point, drag up, and I'm going to locate this one here. Notice where I snap, and that is going to be 2.5 inches. So notice I have my gaps. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put a couple more linear dimensions in. I'll put one up here, point to point, 4 1/4. work my way around here. Let's go ahead and locate these other circles. This other circle center point. Drag that over to here. And let's locate this one. Drag down. All right, so I'm going to locate the, put a linear dimension, make sure I hit that endpoint. Drag out, it's 4 inches. Down at the bottom, the overall, drag that down, and that's 5.5. And then I got to go 2 inches here. So let me check real quick. Okay, so I have all the dimensions. Now what we need to do though is we have to finish some center lines here. So I'm going to go to line and snap to the top of that center point, to the top of that outer circle there, and I'm going to drag, select that line, drag it up 0.25. That's going to be our number. Grab that blue grip, drag this up 0.0625, which is a 1/16 of an inch. Notice those gaps will all be the same. Let me go ahead in here, do the same. Put that line in, drag it out, grab the blue grip 0.25, grab this grip and drag it out 0.0625. Okay, so it's a 1/16 of an inch there, 1/4 inch over here. Notice the gaps. Let's do the same thing up here. Go to line, and you only have to go to the circle here. So drag that out 0.25, drag this down 0.0625. Same over here. Snap that line, grab that line there, drag it out 0.25, drag this 0.0625. Okay, so we have center lines in, we have dimensions in. Next thing I need to do is update my title block text, and we're going to call this base plate. And I click out of that, and then I'm going to go ahead and center it. This here is going to be, notice this format here. It's going to be CH1-2, because this is drawing number 2, exercise number 2, chapter 1, exercise number 2. So we're going to keep scale 1 inch equals 1 inch. Go ahead and update your date and put your period. Like I said before, put your period in, PD 1, 2, 5, whatever it may be. Okay, and then center it up. Make sure you center it. Okay, that's the base plate. All right, make sure you save it. Go to File, Save As, and we want to change it out of that sheet layout. And you should do this before you finish the drawing. So we're going to call this base plate underscore your last name. Okay. Thanks for watching.